Night, the Democratic presidential candidates will face off for their third and final debate of this year. But with hours to go, the DNC has just levied a punishment against Bernie Sanders' campaign over allegations at least one of his staff members improperly accessed data from the Clinton campaign. Now, we've learned Sanders is set to hold a news conference at 1 p.m. this afternoon. I'm joined now by DNC Chairwoman, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz of Florida. Madam Chairwoman, so much for joining. Let's start here with a brief description of what happened here and what data was compromised.
So that's the process that we're going through now. We are analyzing the depth of this breach, and let me just be clear, there's not an allegation. The Sanders campaign has acknowledged that they inappropriately accessed during a brief window where the vendor that we have for our voter file during a software patch application opened the opportunity accidentally for each of the campaigns to see one another's proprietary data. The staff on the Sanders campaign not only viewed the Clinton campaign's proprietary data, but from what we're being told, downloaded it, exported it, and downloaded it. And so we have a variety of back and forth going on, and in order to make sure, first and foremost, that we can preserve the integrity of our voter file, we're going to be having an independent audit done so that we can assess the depth of this breach.
For people watching this interview at home right now, explain again this information and how it would be valuable, certainly in the 7 weeks leading up to the first votes in Iowa and New Hampshire, where the polls are close in both of those states.
Right. Sure. So this is our voter file, and the national voter file is of tremendous value to campaigns, to state parties, to party committees, because it includes data about individual voters' habits, not the personal information by name, but the habits of different types of voters based on the category that, ethnic background, racial background, men versus women. There's all kinds of different data that our voter file has built over the years, and each campaign has access to the voter file, and they can build their own data on top of that information that only they have access to. What happened here was during the opening, the temporary opening accidentally of the opportunity for campaigns to see one another's information, staff on the Sanders campaign, we were informed by our vendor, accessed the proprietary information of the Clinton campaign.
Did you learn from the vendor, or did you learn from the Sanders campaign about this breach?
We learned from the vendor.
And at this point, one staffer has been let go as a result of this. You're shaking your head. Go ahead.
Well, yes. My understanding from the Sanders campaign is that they've let one staffer go. We're still analyzing the depth of this breach. Our vendor is saying that more than one staff person on the Sanders campaign who had access to the voter file and this information actually viewed it and accessed it. So that's why an independent audit is going to be so important. And Tamron, also, I want to be clear, what we're doing is following our memorandum of understanding, our agreement that we have with each presidential campaign. They are prohibited from accessing another campaign's proprietary information, and we have the ability to suspend that campaign's access to the voter file in order to make sure that we can preserve the integrity of the voter file and ensure that there's confidence in it.
We will hear more from Senator Sanders, as I mentioned, in the 1 o'clock hour, but I'm pretty sure you are aware of the floodgate that's open here regarding some of Bernie Sanders supporters, and quite honestly, some Democrats who are undecided, who feel that this is, again, the game being rigged against Bernie Sanders. You have this MoveOn.org petition, nearly 85,000 signatures already. We're already just at 11:49 a.m. Eastern Time. They're demanding that you immediately the Bernie Sanders campaign access to the 50-state file. They go on to say it is crucial for voter outreach in the last weeks before the Democratic caucuses. Shutting down Sanders' tool to reach voters is an infringement on democracy. You and the DNC criticize about the number of debates. Now this criticism where people, or some, and now over 80,000, believe that the game is being rigged because you have the candidate who is the front runner in the majority of the polls that you want for your party?
Cameron, I would ask any Sanders supporters or anyone who is formulating an opinion about the actions that we've taken to put the shoe on the other foot. If it were the Clinton campaign that accessed the proprietary information of the Sanders campaign, you can be darn sure, understandably, that his supporters would expect that we would take the exact same action that we are taking, that is based on our memorandum of understanding, our agreement with each campaign, to ensure that the integrity of their information, their proprietary information, was not only preserved but restored. We're talking about a violation that the Sanders campaign has admitted.
But is there no other alternative? With 7 weeks to go, with the debate tomorrow, is there no other punishment available?
I mean, if you have a campaign that has inappropriately accessed the proprietary information of another campaign, and the voter file itself is what you use to manipulate that information, at this point, I am exploring what options are available to us, but until I am fully advised by independent experts how best to approach this as quickly as possible, the only available remedy for us is to make sure that we cannot have the information manipulated, and the only way to do that is to temporarily suspend their access to the voter file.
All right. Chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, we greatly appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cameron.